Hey guys, welcome back to BK's Daily Draw. I'm BK, and today we're moving away from faces and getting going on hands. Let's get started. So one thing that I've learned while doing this project is that the first thing you should do whenever you're trying to draw something new is go and gather references. So I did just that. I went on to Google and I looked up pictures of hands in different poses, holding different things, empty, closed, and I chose about 5 or 6 of them, saved the pictures, and then went forward with my hand study. So for the first one, I decided to draw a fist. Now, I've drawn fists before with some pretty decent results, so I felt like it was a good baseline for me to start at. And you'll notice for this first one that I don't do a whole lot of construction lines with it. I mostly just look between the picture on my computer and the canvas on my computer, and just go in between that and gauge things off of what I see. And you'll see that after the first one is done, I give it some little finishing touches here and there, and then move on to the second one where I really start to use the construction lines. So as you can see in the second pose, it's a lot more complicated than the first one, so I really needed those construction lines to help me map everything out. And I guess I couldn't decide whether I wanted a more masculine looking hand or a more feminine looking hand, because the pointer finger is super slender and very feminine looking, whereas the middle finger right behind it is pretty thick and chunky and looks more masculine. I don't know why I didn't fix it. It was just something that went wrong. But regardless of all that, I put down the line work and finished it up the rest of the way and marked it as something that I definitely need to come back to and work on later. The third one was one of the ones that I thought was going to be kind of easy, actually. It was the first one that was holding something, but it just looked so simple that I felt like it was going to be just a walk in the park, and it really wasn't. Things were out of proportion, things were out of place, and it was kind of difficult to get a handle on where the fingers should be and how it should look when they're not connected with the rest of the hand. In retrospect, I think part of the problem would be me overcorrecting things. I should have stuck to my construction lines, but instead I chose to resize things and try and true things up that maybe didn't need to be trued up. And then there's the look of the pointed nail that I still haven't quite gotten right. It's definitely one of those things with the fingers that I need to work on. At this point in the drawing, I'm flipping between the layers a lot, hiding the lower construction lines to get a good feel of how the finished drawing will look. And it's really nice to see that what you're going for is being translated into the finished drawing. In this case, it wasn't so much, but it's a learning experience. So the fourth picture I found was a hand holding a cigarette, which is a pretty classic image and one that I thought would be great to practice on. And while the pinky finger in particular needed a lot more work, it actually turned out to be one of my favorite pieces that I've drawn in this picture so far. I really like how the forefinger in particular looks curled around the cigarette, and I think with just a little bit more practice, I can really make the thumb look good, so that's definitely something to focus on in the future. So the last reference I found online was a picture of 2 hands reaching towards each other, and I thought that was a really interesting pose, so I chose to add that in. It was a nice chance to draw things interacting instead of just being alone and stagnant. Of course, having 2 things be in the same kind of reality space added a whole slew of other problems that needed solving, so there was a lot of finagling with the proportions and the size of both hands. Eventually, I got to a point where I was satisfied with everything enough that I could put on the final touches, so I spaced everything out and got to shading. So I think that this part of the video is definitely a testament to what shading can do and how it can improve your art. I took a couple of okay hands and turned them into something kind of half decent with just a couple of black lines here and there. I don't know, maybe because I'm new at this, I'm having more of a reaction to it than normal people would, but it is just so cool to see these things pop and come to life when the shading is done right. No, I don't really have much to say at this point. I know this kind of video isn't something that's super exciting like a character design session or anything like that, but it's definitely one of those important building blocks that you need when you're trying to draw people. Having people hide their hands or hide their feet or whatever gets old in comics really fast, so I think it's really important to learn how to draw them and make them look decent enough that you would want to show other people. That being said, I still don't like them. I don't hate them anymore, but I know that hands are important, so I'll try my best in the future, and hopefully this will help me out. Anyway, that's all the time there is for today, and thanks for watching. If you guys like what you just saw, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. We'll be doing new drawings every single day until February 2019, and it'd be great to have you guys along for the ride. If you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see me draw, you can leave those in a comment down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow.